if the rest of the board members are anything like me, when you get this much information and this large quantity of numbers, it can be very confusing. The report that Kevin put together, the guide sheet, is pretty accurate, or pretty helpful. So just take it home and work your way through a report. It'll give you a better picture, because it is our responsibility to oversee this and be on top of the village's financial situation. And I'm going to jump ahead a little bit with one comment instead of waiting for my turn much later. Since budget is coming up, and many of you were on the finance committee when that still existed, over the past couple of years, we have tried to spend down our savings account to get it down to a reasonable amount. And we're aiming for that $1 million to $1.5 million. Savings account, reserve account, whatever you want. It's our fallback emergency net. If the world falls apart, we want $1.5 million there. Working from these reports and projecting the rest of our fiscal year revenue and expenditure, we should, if all goes well, be at 1.5 million and a few cents at the end of this fiscal year, where we want to be. Now, for the past 3 or 4 years, when we've developed the budget, our requests have exceeded our revenues by 500, 600,000. And we've covered that by taking it out of the reserve. That's not there now. So when you're working on putting your budgets together, keep them slim, prioritize, and remember, we're going to have to match, we're going to have to spend what we earn, what we receive as revenues, not over. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Kelly. I think this has been a wonderful exercise. We're thrilled to have all the financial statements. And other than you mentioned additional tweaking, I know you want to do with the software. With the software now and everything in place, we should be able to have the monthly statements in each board packet, correct?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. All right, just want to...
One of the things we were waiting on is I've had a lot of the financial statements sitting and waiting, but we wanted more report training. Trustee Daly and I sat back in July. We communicated with each other about what we want to see on these, how we want to tweak, and then we talked to Jim Rock about what really needs to be sent to the board so we can comply with everything. At that point, Trustee Daly says, let's wait until we get our training done. We had additional training to do with report writing in that at the same time of business licensing. So once that took place, I then was able to produce more of a product that we were comfortable with to present to the board.
Okay. All right, very good. Okay, we will move on to the village clerk, Kathy Metzler.
Hello. Okay, so I've been working on all aspects of payroll and I'm really not having any problems. And then BSNA called me last week and we were able to download all of my business license forms and letters into the program, which is exciting. He didn't get all the reports, as I reported last time, finished while they were here. So I can't wait till we can start exploring the full program and how to do the renewals and everything. Deputy Clerk Roseanne Stark has completed entering all the businesses and detailed information into the program, which is important because all these lines go into different reports. So that's exciting. And then I have on the agenda tonight the meeting dates for 2016. And that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the mayor's report. I first want to extend apologies to the community. We've had issues with our flagpole that usually proudly bears the American flag. It got beat up more than we ever realized in recent storms, and it collapsed and one of the pulleys broke. But the good news is we finally have flags in, so the American flag is up where the state flag usually is temporarily till we get the other pole fixed. So again, my apologies on that. We'll get that rectified shortly. And I just again want to thank everybody. The snowstorm that we had, 16 inches, was just unbelievable, and how fast that came down, and that was true heavy heart attack snow. So our contractor, Dave Schultz, did an outstanding job with his crew. Terry Graham overseeing Tyler Wagner and having your staff and waiting in the wings. I was just very pleased. We did have to remind residents that you need to move your cars off the streets. The rule has been around for a long time. There's no parking between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. or when there's 2 inches or more of snowfall. And of course, for townhome associations, I ask you to follow your local rules. You know what they are. Pay attention. We don't want to tow cars. We don't want to see these things happen. Some good news, even though we're still at a full budget impasse, I guess, with most things, there did pass a bill and the governor did sign it, so there is a release of some funds heading our way. Some of them quite crucial to 911 agencies, towns that have video gaming, I guess will be getting their funds. We're happy to see that there's a release on MFT money coming our way. So that is some news, some progress being made. I have to tell you, last Thursday, I attended the Lake County Municipal League annual banquet. That banquet was sold out for the first time. And it was sold out because we were all invited because Governor Rauner was going to be a special guest. So I very excitedly went. And of course, Governor was in Chicago earlier in the day with Mayor Emanuel for the ribbon cutting of the new Google facility. And during the mingling period, when he was supposed to arrive, he did not. And of course, we understand that that happens with dignitaries. But I am very disappointed and saddened to report that he did make it during the time that we were asked to be taking our seats so they could open the program in the dining room. And I think he got to speak with a handful of people. Ironically, my husband happened to be one of them. And a few people that were either in the area getting their place cards or at the very far back table. When the program opened up, Mayor Mancino thanked the sponsors and then proceeded to thank Governor Rauner for appearing for a few minutes and then announced he had left the building. So Governor Rauner never appeared before us at the banquet. He never stepped up to the podium and said one word, and I am disappointed about that, and I have sent a letter. It would have been nice to hear that we're being patient and ask for our patience for a little longer. So I'm hoping to share an answer with you or some message eventually from the governor, because we did not receive it last Thursday. One meeting that I did attend recently, along with Trustee Georgianne Duberstein, which was very worthwhile and informative, I attended the Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting at the county level. And I was invited to be there because we participated in what was called a listening tour, a gathering of information led by Kathleen O'Connor, who is the Libertyville Township Supervisor. And she did an excellent presentation of her gathering of information on paratransit transportation needs through Lake County. And a lot of people really had their eyes opened at various government levels and at the county level, and there will be some further discussion on that topic. One of the immediate needs that was recognized was to have a one-stop public information point officer, whether by telephone rather than just relying on computer. We all know that when you're in a hurry to get somewhere, and if you're have a disability or you're a senior citizen, you may not have access or want to take the time to try to search through various websites to find a means of transportation. Also, just want to add a couple quick updates. We have had the Public Works Superintendent job posting advertised. It closed at the end of day of December 1st. I'm happy to report that we received quite a few very good resumes, and with Robinson's assistance, Terry Graham, we whittled it down and he conducted phone interviews, and now we already have the first of the in-person interviews scheduled. So that is all moving forward on time, and we look forward to reporting to you the outcome of those interviews. Just one other final note, I was asked about the Cranberry Lake path recently. The wood chip path has been widened, it's been replenished, with the exception of the far northern end near the townhomes. There is a more challenging area there due to settlement around a concrete pipe, and we lovingly refer to it as the hump, and that's what it is. And so, due to our big snowstorm, we had to change the focus, and we focus on snowstorm preparedness. We will get back in there sometime this winter. We also had to send Greg Ruin, our engineer, over to take a look, because we can't fill in ground in wetland areas without getting our blessing from the stormwater officer and him writing love notes to the Army Corps of Engineers, so everybody's happy. So now what we're dealing with is, it is very mild, and we have had 16 inches of snow melt and rain since, and we have got very wet ground, and to bring equipment in anywhere right now, what we need is a good freeze. If the ground gets hard, that would be a good time to bring in actually the clay to fill in the hump and get some chips down before the next 16-inch snowfall. So that is our hopes. So with that, let's move on to the Great Age Club and any other general announcements.
The Great Age Club had their holiday party at the Vine, followed by dessert at the Duberstein's mansion. And everyone had a good time. I think there were 15 of us there, so it was a nice turnout. We have changed the date and time of the Great Age Club meetings. They are now the first Thursday in the month, and they're from 10:30 to 12, followed by lunch for anyone who wants to join us. So the next meeting will be January 8th at 10:30 here at the Village Hall.
Okay, any other general announcements? All right, let's get down to business. First item up is an ordinance adopting the annual tax levy for Cranberry Lake Special Service Area Number 1 of the Village of Hainesville.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Darrenowski,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Hein.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And George Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried. Ordinance number 15-12-208.
Item 2 is the tax levy ordinance for the tax year of 2015 for the Village of Hainesville.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Darrenowski,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Hein.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And George Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried. Ordinance number 15-12-209.
Item 3 is an ordinance adopting by reference of the Lake County Watershed Development Ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Darrenowski,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Hein.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And George Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried. 15-12-210.
Item 4 is a motion to accept the social media policy in terms of use.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
Quick comment, John, nice job. I know you and Judy worked together on this, or our law firm. It's clear, well stated, well done.
Great. Roll call.
Trustees Darrenowski,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Hine.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And George Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried. That's not an ordinance, is it?
No.
No,
It's
okay.
policy. Item 5 is an ordinance establishing regular meeting dates and committee of the whole dates, meeting dates for 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Darrenowski,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Hine.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And George Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried. Ordinance number 15-12-210.
Okay, item 6 is a motion to approve the license agreement for office and storage space between the Village of Hainesville and Illinois Municipal Corporation and the Mavis Division 4 and 5 Specialized Response Teams Joint Administrative Council.
So moved.
Second.
There wasn't any change from the previous.
So we're having discussions. We have a first and a second, we're going to discussion. The reason for this redoing, if you will, of the license agreement is that group changed their government format of how they conduct themselves. So their board structure is different as far as the amount of members on the board. They simplifies by making it smaller. And then the other reason for the change is actually the reorganization and transferring the equipment, it's still all the same equipment, to the Mavis divisions lowers their annual insurance rates. And that's the only purpose. It does not change our agreement or the spirit of our agreement. But because of the change of their government organization, we had to redo this.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Did I-
Okay, roll call.
Sorry.
Okay.
Trustees Darrenowski,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Hine.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And George Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Do we need to pause for?
Yes, can we pause for?
We can pause for 1 moment.
Thank you.
So moved.
Change in the different amount.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to back up for a minute.
Sure.
Trustee Hine noticed I used the number twice. So ordinance for the meeting dates, the ordinance number is 15-12-211.
211.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you, Trustee Hine.
Good catch, trustee Hine. Okay, then we are going to move to item 7.
I move to approve the ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a loan from State Bank of the Lakes in an amount not to exceed $244,000 and the interest rate not to exceed 2.630% and an amortization period not to exceed 60 months to be used to refinance a loan from First Midwest Bank.
Second.
Was that John?
Yes.
Thank you.
And what I am passing out to each of the trustees is an email. You have the ordinance with the proper authorization and dollar amount. You have the commitment letter from Wintrust with the correct dollar amount. The promissory note, which is just a draft, has the raw dollar amount, so I'm passing you copies of the email that lets you know that the actual loan documents will reflect the exact payoff at execution of the documents. So, you're just authorizing me to sign those documents at the amount of $244,000. So I just wanted to make that clear, and so everybody had a copy of that email from Tim Perry at State Bank of the Lakes. Okay? Is there any further discussion or questions on any?
Question.
Yes.
Looking at this, what is our previous loan that we have on the building? What's our interest rate, number one?
5.25%.
Okay, so that's good. And then also down there it says banking relationship, borrower to establish and maintain depository relationship. Does that mean that we're gonna take all the rights out of our basket over to First Midwest and move it over to Wintrust, or are we gonna, how are we gonna handle that?
We are gonna establish a banking relationship with State Bank of the Lakes. We're looking, we've had a couple of meetings about doing that. We're looking at into January to see what we wanna do, what accounts where,
We'll be coming back to the board
to
with
the board,
that.
yeah, for the board direction and approval.
One of the advantages of State Bank of the Lakes, they were purchased by Wintrust a couple of years ago. And so they have expanded their government services, and they work with quite a number of municipalities, school districts, and park districts, and really are.
Well, you actually have a guy at the helm that understands it and gets it.
Yes, and First Midwest is going in an opposite direction, quite frankly.
I don't even want to go there with that one.
Okay, so,
Thank you.
any other questions, discussion? Okay, roll call.
Trustees Dermowski,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Hein.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And George Duberstein.
Aye.
Ordinance number 15-12-212.
Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:50, what do you want to call it?
4.
Yes, we're going to take a brief break, and we're going to reset up our PowerPoint for trustee George Luberstein, and so everybody grab your coffee, hit the restroom, and report back here in like 3-4 minutes.